Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the All Ball Podcast. It is February 22nd. I am your host, Joseph Shelton, here with my co-host,
Patrick.
On hour 1 of today's episode, we will be discussing the NBA All-Star Game and Steph's record-breaking performance. We will discuss the Michigan-Wisconsin fight and who is to blame. We will also talk about Aaron Rodgers and his drama, as well as the hiring of Brian Flores. On hour 2, we will be discussing the NFL Combine boycott, the continued MLB lockout. We will also discuss the released Formula One cars and liveries and how we think the upcoming season is going to go. Lastly, we will be going over other big stories from the week. This is the All Ball Podcast. All right, welcome everybody. Kind of fighting through a cold here, so I might have to blow my nose now and then, so bear with me. Layton, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I had a chili cheese dog about 20 minutes ago.
All right. Sounds good. So, the NBA All-Star Game and other events took place over the weekend. Steph Curry was the All-Star Game MVP with a record 16 threes. He had 15 in the third quarter. That's ridiculous. Holy cow. He had 50 points. Team LeBron is now, 6-0 in the new format?
I want to say 6-0, I think, yeah. Or at least 5-0.
Yeah.
Dude, we never really, said anything about this before the All-Star game, but I'm surprised it was even this close. Like, looking at the draft, you don't know why KD's team is always worse than LeBron's?
Because
Kevin Durant is just horrible at relationships. He couldn't draft Harden. He couldn't draft Curry. He couldn't draft. Who did LeBron pick? I think he picked up somebody first. Who was it? Was it Giannis? I think he picked Giannis first. So even if Giannis didn't go first, KD wouldn't have picked him. He has beef with Giannis. He has some beef with Joel Embiid. Surprisingly, he got him, who carried their team, by the way. Probably is the MVP of the league. You know, it's funny because, the All-Star game, and this goes for any sport, it really doesn't mean anything, right? But, Joel Embiid is just insane.
Dude, so I didn't watch it live. So I forgot. I saw the stuff all over Instagram. They're like, LeBron hit the game-winning shot. And I was so confused because I forgot about the Kobe thing they do. I was like, dude, they were up by a point. How did he hit the game-winning shot if they were winning? But I forgot. It's first one to get 24. They have to score 24 points from what the winning team has. Is that how it works?
No, they just have it has to do with the not their sponsors, their charities that they're going for, and how many points they scored through the first. I don't know what the algorithm they use is, but they had a specific amount of by the end of the game they have a specific amount of points that they have to reach, and so it was 173 yesterday.
Oh, I thought it was for Kobe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's for Kobe or anything involving him. But
anyway, the MVP, the All-Star MVP, is named after Kobe. But
yeah.
So Curry won that. He's had an interesting first half. He started off so hot, then he got the record, and it kind of seemed like he stopped caring a little
Oh,
bit.
dude, you know what I think it is you just look at it like he's just so in his own head because you go into the All-Star game and if you shoot 0 for 20, who gives a crap, right? And he just went in there and was lights out. Like if he could, and to be fair, they play like zero defense in the All-Star game, but
Right,
still,
but
he's good enough off ball to basically get an open shot whenever he wants. So I don't. It's just like hopefully this is kind of a switch flipper for him for the season. And
it's
it's a.
weird.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's weird that a guy of his stature would have a slump like that. You know, like he's Steph Curry. He's the greatest shooter ever to live. Like for him to have a shooting slump, a weird thing.
Yeah, but it's the
Have
first time he set the record. So I mean, I
yeah.
don't know what goes into that mentally. Um, but yeah, I mean, as you can see, he's a flamethrower when he gets hot.
Right.
And you can't count the Warriors out of that championship bubble right now.
I think they're the they're my second favorite in the West to come out of the West.
Yeah,
Still.
as of right now, yeah. Um, but bro, like, just back to the KD thing. Like, he is so toxic, and he's like, so he's a great NBA player. He's probably, he's easily top 5. You could argue he's the best player in the NBA right now. I would say he's not because he plays half the season usually. Always finds a way to get injured, and accountability, is just as good as efficiency. But like, bro, watching the draft, and then on top of that, he just like, I don't think he smiled one time in the draft. Like, I just can't get over the fact that he's just so like, I don't know if it's
He's very
petty.
petty.
Yeah,
He's very
right.
petty, and in some ways immature. He's immature. I mean, that's what it is. You look at that whole team though. Now we were laughing about this last time. You have Katie, who's petty and immature, Kyrie, who's just a lunatic, and then Ben Simmons, who just refused to play for his team because he got criticized. Bro, all they
It's
need to
not
add
gonna
is,
work.
dude, all they
It's
need
not
to
gonna
add
work,
is
bro.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, they might as
You got a
well.
full roster.
Might as well. Friggin' AB will play more than Simmons and Kyrie will. Book that.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, moving on from the All Star game, just because, like, I mean, do you have anything else? I guess.
No.
Okay. Fun thing, Karl Anthony Towns won the 3-point contest. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that is pretty whack.
He's the only big man. And that just goes to show the kind of league we're in now. Basically, 90% of the players can shoot. Maybe not are elite at shooting, but can consistently, every now and then hit a jumper. So you got to space the floor. So you can space the floor and stretch out defenses. But that's the name of the NBA right now. So it's just funny though. But then again, there really wasn't any like insane elite 3-point shooters in the contest. Like there's a lot of guys that shoot high percentages, but not volume.
Was Zach Levine in it?
I don't think so. I don't think he was this year. He was last year.
Yeah, he was like the last 2 years, I think. I just want to see Steph Curry and Clay do it every single year. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, right. Seth Curry, I believe, was in it. Let's say CJ McCollum was in it. Trae Young was in it. Luke Kennard was in it. He's been playing pretty good for the Clippers this year.
Trae Young is like a small James Harden.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
how I always see Trae Young. Like I feel like he's one of those like I said, James Harden, like Russell Westbrook types. I don't know if he's gonna have a ton of success in the playoffs. Hate to say it, because it's so hard to maintain that all year, like his style of play, all year, and then keep it in the playoffs where you're not getting the calls that you get during the regular season. And even this year, like what's he averaging this season?
I think it's quite a bit, maybe 26, 27.
So like he's a scorer, but I don't know.
No, I
It's just
mean,
his
he's
style of
not
play.
okay. He's not a super efficient scorer. He gets a lot of free throws, and it was they kind of had it fixed at the beginning of the year, and then they saw their stars go into slumps, and now they changed it back to just throw crap up and you get the call. But yeah, he either shoots free throws or like half court 3-pointers, and that's about it. Maybe he'll get a floater in there every now and then, but he doesn't take very high quality percentage shots. So
Uh-uh.
I kind of
It's,
agree with you in that aspect that unless he kind of gets some more pieces maybe in Atlanta, I don't expect him to
it's
be
really
making big
hard to
moves.
build around a guy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Especially because when you go into the season, he's basically their offense, right?
Right. And his usage rate is always going to be so high that it's hard to put other stars around a guy like that.
For sure.
Like it's really easy to put stars around a guy like Steph Curry or Luka Doncic or Kevin Durant. I mean, like his style of play, not necessarily personality. But Kevin Durant, see, LeBron works with anybody, but LeBron also just sucks all the air out of the room. I guess that's a different story. But I don't know. What was interesting to me, and Colin mentioned this, I don't know if you heard this. It's crazy that, like, judging by the reaction from the crowd and, like, everything else you see, from shoe sales to whatever, Michael Jordan might still be the most popular basketball player in America. And he hasn't played for 20 years.
Yeah, no, I listened to that and I kind of agree with that. But you just got to look at it like, you know, there was a little cold stretch after that Lakers Celtics rivalry where it was kind of boring. The league was kind of boring. Everybody just wanted to fight the whole time. Like nobody really played the sport. And in the early '90s, when that Bulls team just basically housed everybody, ran them off the floor, that kind of rejuvenized a lot of like excitement in the sport for a lot of fans, especially because it wasn't like a Lakers, Celtics, early Warriors dynasty, right?
Right.
They changed it. They made it a small. I mean, Chicago's not a small market, but not a super popular
Right.
team. They weren't a super popular team before Jordan is what I meant to say. I mean, they picked
Right.
him at number 3, so obviously they weren't very good before they got him. And so it just kind of like, you look at it like ever since Jordan, there's just been a series of just great NBA play. It went from Jordan to Shaq and Kobe to basically Kobe and Tim Duncan's decade to LeBron to the
Bears.
Heat and then the Warriors and basically since then there's just been dynasty after dynasty, but like there was that stretch after the Lakers won their last one in
88.
88.
Yeah, 88 or 89.
And then there was that Pistons team, which I guess you could say kind of
Bad boy
brought some
Pistons.
life, but yeah, and then you just look at it because like a lot of the teams making it, like there was the Suns and the Blazers and just a bunch of weird teams, and then the Bulls came out of nowhere and just made it every single year. Just being able to score at will, and the style that Michael Jordan plays, I think, was so cool because like he's not the tallest guy, but it just goes to show that like if you work hard enough that you can play basketball your own way, right? Because before Jordan, Larry Bird kind of started doing this, but obviously he didn't play very long. Larry Bird kind of had a shortened career,
Right.
but
Yeah, it was center.
Michael Jordan didn't play like a normal basketball player. He took
Right.
contested mid-range shots as and crazy finishing layups for a
Right.
decade when basically all offenses were just get it to the big man and let him work. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think he changed the game. Obviously, gave it way more publicity than previous years. And so I think that kind of sits with people basically. And you look at it like this: everybody's gonna be biased to their era that they watch it, just because you watched it, right? So like kids today are gonna say LeBron or Steph was the best ever, and probably kids younger than like let's just say we have kids their age is gonna grow up with Giannis and Luka, and when they win a couple championships, they're gonna be the greatest. So it's just all decade dependent, and when there's a lot of adults there that watched him in the '90s, yeah, I could see why he's easily still the most popular basketball. He might be the most popular professional athlete, especially in America. Like one of the top, however many in the
interesting.
world.
Yeah, in the worldwide, I would say.
Because
in America, I would say
soccer.
him and right. I'd say in America, him and Brady are probably pretty close.
See, but I don't think Brady is like you hear his name a lot, but you don't like before.
Who doesn't know about Tom Brady?
Well, yeah, but before the whole Tampa Bay situation, he was never in Madden covers, never on billboards, never the cover. He was. Aaron Rodgers was more of a face of the league the last decade than Tom Brady, just because of how they played and who people wanted to watch more.
Yeah, but dude, you gotta realize Tom Brady had the #1 selling jersey for like the last 10 years in a row.
Okay.
Like he sold more jerseys. He was the #1 every single year.
Okay. Either way, he's not more popular than Jordan, so.
Oh. I would like to. Tom Brady also sold the most jerseys this year. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But then you look at and the fact that he kind of introduced the whole shoe, aspect to the league.
That's it. That's exactly. You're right, because like he still outsells. I think he outsells every single active player combined.
Yeah, I could believe that. And dude, here's the thing: is I think Jordans look like dog shit. I think Jordans, like he has like 4 shoes that I think look all right. Some of them I actually like, but most of his shoes I think are gross looking. But people buy them because of the name, bro.
You know that he wanted to sign with Adidas, and they didn't want him.
Well, good for Adidas. They got Harden, and I don't even know. I mean, I know Dame is Adidas. I don't even know who else would be.
Now, well, before Jordan, it was a lot of all the like biggest players were Adidas. Which is why Jordan wanted to go there. But yeah, and then he's
well, good for them.
That's interesting.
The dunk contest.
You got anything else about the All-Star weekend?
I just want to say, bro, the dunk contest sucks now.
It sucks.
Like, bro, as fun as that 2016 dunk contest was, you know what I'm talking about. They ruined it. They ruined it. They did everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they did everything. They literally had
better than anybody can do it.
Like, they had like over half. They literally have between them two like over half of the top 10 dunks ever, and just from that one contest.
Yeah, dude. Aaron Gordon's over the mascot. That was legendary. Zach LaVine dunked like he did like a windmill from the free throw line.
Aaron Gordon was robbed.
Aaron Gordon had some good dunks. I don't know.
He was robbed. Zach LaVine copied him like 3 times. Zach LaVine literally copied him like 3 times.
Okay, but there's also kind of like it's also kind of a power move too.
how. They did the same stuff.
Kind of a power move. Like, oh, you can do that? Yeah, watch this.
Okay, and then
You
he
can
did
do
the
it.
same thing, and it's not proving anything.
Kind of a power move.
Okay. But yeah, no, that's all I got. The skills
Power
competition.
bottomed his way to
Skill
victory.
skills competition was cool. How they changed it up as like a team style this year, which
Right.
I like. I think that they should maybe kind of steer in that direction going forward, is make it a team competition where you can just get a couple guys together and come up with stuff. And but yeah, that's all I got for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I'm kind of the point where I think they should eliminate all All-Star games. Like, get rid of the All-Star game in basketball and baseball. Get rid of the Pro Bowl in football. I don't care about it. Sorry, I don't. Basketball is better than football, but
I like the
if you're gonna have
basketball
stuff
one.
like the dunk contest, which is iconic, be lame like that. And if you're
Yeah.
gonna score 173 points, and it's just gonna be people wide open shooting, I'm sorry. Maybe an unpopular opinion. I don't care.
I like the All-Star games, except the NFL's. That one just sucks.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, Michigan and Wisconsin played in basketball the other night. I would like to mention Wisconsin won by quite a bit. I think it was 77-63, I believe, off the top of my head. So in the last couple minutes of the game, the Badgers were up big, and Michigan decided to full court press and trap. At the time, Michigan still had their starters in. Wisconsin had a lot of their backups in. At the time when they decided to press, Greg Gard, the Wisconsin coach, wanted to avoid a turnover, so he called a timeout. Juwan Howard took extreme exception to this. He was not happy that Wisconsin called a timeout with only a few minutes left in the game. So, in the line after the game, in the handshake line, Greg Gard tried to talk to Juwan Howard about this. Juwan Howard did not want to hear it, tried to walk by him. Greg Gard then grabbed his arm, which led Juwan Howard to get extremely angry. He started, I think he pushed a Wisconsin coach, and then an assistant Wisconsin coach tried to grab him, at which point Howard, I'm not going to say he threw a punch, but he threw an open palmed hand, basically a punch, just wasn't a closed fist. So Juwan Howard is suspended for 5 games for the rest of the season. Greg Gard was fined $50,000. However, the Wisconsin Athletic Department released a statement saying they considered it a Wisconsin fine, not a Greg Gard fine, and that they would be picking up the bill. Players were also involved in it after Juwan Howard swung. The players cleared and started fighting. I guess what are your initial takeaways, thoughts?
No, I will say I like the fact that Greg Gard tried kind of clearing up that whole situation, because it's a sport and it's competition and it's your job, but at the end of the day, when you can make things right, you might as well. So I like the fact that he tried kind of double backing and going back in and trying to clarify, but you can't. Like, I'm in the same boat as Juwan Howard. You don't touch me, bro. Don't touch people. That's when you start getting, when you physically impede somebody's, progress, trying to walk and you physically get in their way, that's when people get pissed off.
Right.
And so it wasn't cool and Juwan Howard, a lot of it, I think, was just the fact that Michigan kind of sucks and it's his job on the line is really, I think where a lot of that anger comes from, because Michigan's probably not going to make the playoffs this year. But, even so, I'd say it's about 75, 70, 65, 60, somewhere in there, Juwan Howard. But I can't let Greg Gard get a pass on that one, just because you can't. Like, if he wants to be pissed off, just let it go, man. It's just kind of, it's immaturity from Juwan Howard, but also kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say lack of thinking, because like you understand what Greg Gard was trying to do, I guess, but you don't touch people. Like I guarantee you go to a bar and somebody puts their hand on your face, puts their hand on just you, not your face, that you're gonna get pissed. This is how it goes.
All that, I will grant you that all that is true. At the same time, being a coach of a major college organization is much different than being a patron at a bar. Yes, Greg Gard should not have in any situation put his hands on Juwan Howard. That is, however, totally different in kind from throwing hands. You are a college coach. These are kids. You are coaching kids. Juwan Howard is one of the most legendary college basketball players at all time, especially at the University of Michigan, being a part of the Fab Five. He's one of the most legendary players in their school's history. He is paid 7 figures to be the adult in the room. At that time, he was the most immature person on the court. He was the most immature person on the court. Yes, Greg Gard should not have put his hands on Juwan Howard. However, there are levels to this thing. And throwing hands, whether it was a punch, a slap, whatever you want to call it, is totally different. What if you had hit a kid? What if his punch had thrown and it went wild and hit a kid? Then what? Now we're talking about him losing his job, right? And possibly being arrested. You know? What are we talking about now? What if he had hit one of his own players or one of the Wisconsin players? He is probably the most highest paid. He is probably one of the highest paid state employees of Michigan, up there with Jim Harbaugh, and he's probably way higher paid than the dean at Michigan, right? He's probably one of the top 3 highest paid state employees in the state of Michigan. You're paid to be the adult in the room. You're paid to be a mentor. There's a total difference in kind. You know, people have been bringing up a lot this week about Bobby Knight. How Bobby Knight threw chairs at players or threw basketballs at players. Totally unacceptable. Completely unacceptable in any era. So that's where I think this differs. Now, I don't think Juwan Howard deserves to be fired. Like, stuff happens. It does. I think the suspension, though, is
well warranted.
Completely fair.
Yeah,
it is
I agree.
Completely fair.
No, I agree with
That's
the
where I
suspension.
would push. Yeah, that's where I would push back a little bit. Throwing a punch is completely different, and you're paid to be the adult in the room. And Juwan Howard was the most immature person in that gym. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go sometimes. I don't want to hear this whole attitude. Like, this is the whole attitude. Oh, well, if somebody puts my hands on me, we're going. No. You can't do that. You're an adult. You have to let things slide sometimes. He didn't hurt you, and you tried to hurt somebody else.
Yeah, I could just see where the frustration came from, but obviously they really didn't. They didn't attack the situation very well.
I don't think there's any situation where you're going to be justified in throwing a punch in a basketball game, unless somebody swings at you first.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't like to the point of self-defense for Juwan Howard, but more or less just a I don't know, like a personal space type thing. For sure, though, Juwan Howard really overreacted. Like, sure, whatever, tell him to get off you, and if he doesn't, we'll just move to the side or push him off you or whatever it is. Not like physically push him to the ground, but just kind of like nudge him off you, whatever. But obviously, a punch or just a swing or whatever it was really isn't warranted in any situation. So I think both. I'm surprised actually that Greg Gard got fined though. That's the part that I'm kind of like that I'm kind of sitting on because, sure, with my argument where he kind of touched him, but I'm surprised that that's worth $50,000. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a little extreme, I guess, in my opinion, especially because how much do you think Greg Gard's salary is?
A lot, but hold on. Here's the thing. It's all, and here's the Wisconsin fan in me. Dude, it's all for the NCAA to try to protect Michigan. All protecting Michigan. They got to make it seem like Michigan was somewhat justified. It's a load of crap. And of course, I expect this behavior from Michigan. I expect it. Okay, Greg Gard directly got a $10,000 fine. Sorry, okay, I think we were off on that. I think it was $10,000 fine, and Wisconsin Athletics will pay for it. I think we were off with $50,000. But
okay,
Greg Gard makes in 2020 he made $2.3 million.
So you just look at the difference in programs. Juwan Howard's making 3 times as much money, so in theory he should have the ability and the mindset to just kind of resolve the situation a little bit differently.
Well, Wisconsin's a classy organization, and Michigan is Michigan, so I don't think we should really be surprised. I don't think we should be shocked. We're classy.
Joey, we just drink beer. That's all we do.
We're classy with the University of Wisconsin. I'll tell you that. We're classy.
Okay.
By the way, congrats to our men's Alpine team. We qualified for nationals. I am not one of our.
So when are you going?
I'm not one of our top 5, so I will not be going. However, congrats to the boys who did, and have a good run. However, I would like this on the official record. Our freestyle team, of which I am a part of the top 5, we also technically we did qualify for nationals. We will not be going, however, due to complicated factors. Mostly, we would definitely lose, but still technically qualified. Anyway, basically what comes from this: Wisconsin, classy school, classy program. Michigan, trashy school, trashy program. It's a safety school, but it's fine. They can be what they are. All right. So unless you got any final comments on this.
What is the thing that Ohio State does? Like FM week or F Blue week, or what do they do? They
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ohio State, also not a very classy organization, so we expect it.
Okay.
It's fine. Speaking of not classy, Aaron Rodgers has now lost out on his 2nd ring of the year. Him and
Yeah, but why did he post that thing about saying "Oh, I love you" on his Instagram?
I don't know. Him and his fiancee Shailene Woodley, if you have not heard, have ended their engagement.
My guess is it's getting pushed back or postponed because Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to commit, would be my guess. But I still believe they're in a relationship after reading his Instagram post. I want to say
it
they
does
are.
seem that way. Well, I think she doesn't want to move to Denver or Pittsburgh with him. So that's probably it.
I saw something where she lives in Pittsburgh.
Well, then she doesn't want to move to Denver.
So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Either way, he's been acting up, doing his weekly thing, bi-weekly thing, where he's just, he went on a little, what would you even call that? Like a little tangent on his Instagram, thanking all of his thinking all of his former and current teammates and a lot of people that he's gratitude with, that he has gratitude for. So I don't know. I'm hoping he makes a decision relatively soon on what he's planning on doing. When I first saw that post, my initial thought was that that was like, in a sense, a retirement post. But I would be.
So
Would you be surprised if he retired?
now I would, because if he really did call off his engagement, like that would like I wouldn't expect that if he wasn't retiring. Like if he was retiring, I wouldn't expect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he said today, I don't know if you watched this, but on the Pat McAfee show, he was on there today. He said, when your home life is stable and you have an amazing partner to do life with, it just makes the work life a bonus. How much more fun I can have at work now that the stress of personal life is out there. So he referenced her as his partner. It's interesting.
Holy gosh, bro! I saw something that Russell Wilson might open up his destination landing spots to Green Bay if they get rid of Rodgers. So I wouldn't mind
Russell
that
Wilson
trade
did?
off. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind that. It was a leak though. It wasn't, he didn't come out and say anything.
Way.
So
I don't think dude, the only way Seattle lets Russell Wilson walk out of there is if they're idiots. They would have to be absolute idiots to let Russell Wilson walk out of there. He is in his absolute prime.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just depends on what kind of situation he's looking for. It's really all it is, because, for the most part of his career, he's just been kind of, I don't want to say he's been held back, but he just hasn't been very involved on the offense. And so, he's never had that MVP. He's never had that All-Pro selection. And so when you compare Russell Wilson to other great quarterbacks, he doesn't really amount to them just because of lack of awards and statistics and whatnot. And so that might be kind of a driving force of getting out of Seattle, just because Pete Carroll, believe it or not, is a relatively stubborn coach, especially when it comes to dictating the offense. He just likes running the ball and making his defense look good is really, his mindset, I think, going into the year.
Right.
So I don't know. It depends. We have to see. Okay, well, first things first is just Rodgers has to freaking say something.
He said he would decide before the draft.
Yeah, early. Is that March?
Yeah, end of March. So like a month. He said he would say. His social media post, though, it did make him seem like. So.
Didn't it?
So here, I'll read it. So he said, here's some hashtag Monday Night Gratitude for some of the incredibly special people in my life. With some pictures from the last beautiful year, Rodgers wrote. At Shailene Woodley, thank you for letting me chase after you the first couple months after we met, and finally letting me catch up to you and to be a part of your life. Thank you for always having my back, for the incredible kindness you show me and everyone you meet, and showing me what unconditional love looks like. I love you and am grateful for you. To the men I got to share the QB room with every day, Matt, Nathaniel, Luke, Jordan Love, and Kurt Benkert. You guys make every day so much fun, and I am grateful for the daily laughs and stress relief you brought me every week of the year. I love you guys. To the Friday crew, Randall Cobb. I don't know this other guy's name because he used their Instagram handles. And David Bakhtiari. I loved every moment we got to spend together this year. Your love and support was overwhelming. I cherish the friendship I have with each of you. To my teammates, past and current, you're the icing on the beautiful cake we call our job. Football, the friendship that we have will transcend our collective time in this game, and I am thankful for the role each one of you have played in making my life that much better. I love you guys and cherish the memories we have made. To everyone else, spread love and gratitude, you beautiful people, and read a book once in a while too while you're at it. Love and peace, Aaron Rodgers. So that does seem like a farewell to something.
Right, like I don't know. It could just because he's always been about like kind of like trendy stuff, right? He's always kind of hopped on trends, so maybe that's like a new thing that like every week just kind of say what you're grateful for. Especially because in a sense he's kind of a toxic guy, and I would imagine that he kind of knows that, so he might just be trying to for the sake of his soul and mental health try and do something like that. But he also could be maybe retiring from the sport. I don't know. It's pretty broad and not super specific on kind of what he's leaning into right now, I don't think.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if he retired? The Hall of Fame class that would be coming up?
Probably when he... Yeah,
Dude,
that'd be a
it'd be
lot.
like Roethlisberger, Brady, Gronk.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I would have. See, here's the thing, though: is you look at it, like Brady's kind of been the bane of his existence for his entire career. Brady's gone, so like, why would he retire now?
Dude, the NFC is wide open. The NFC North is weak.
Like you look at it,
the NFC is wide open, dude. It's the Rams.
and right now, it's literally the Rams and Cowboys. And if Rodgers,
Seattle.
I see. You don't know. You just gotta wait till the draft. But like there's only like 3-4 teams that can really make it out of the NFC. So I'd be surprised. So let's say he does leave Green Bay. Why he would go to the AFC right now? Because like his best landing spots are definitely in the AFC. But I mean, maybe a San Francisco stop. Like that was kind of the talks last summer, and into the draft a little bit. So maybe I would bet a lot of money he doesn't go to Tampa Bay.
Well, what I would think makes the most sense for him is to stay with the Packers one more year, and then he hits free agency. So you could do like the Tom Brady thing, and he could totally pick where he wants to go. Whereas the Packers kind of have to sign off on it now, because he can leave, basically, but they have to trade him. So if I had to bet, I don't know, but there's a lot of reports saying that he's basically out. So I don't really know what to think. I think the most likely scenario is that he stays one more year and then either retires or goes somewhere else. That's what I would bet.
I don't even know. If I was to guess, I would say he's probably like gonna try out soccer or something. I don't know. Why not?
Maybe curling. Maybe he'll be on the Olympic curling team next time.
You probably honestly though, could you see him like retiring and just going into the PGA?
Yes.
I could see that.
I could see him definitely retiring.
Maybe just a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers swap. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind that one.
That would be ridiculous. They would.
I feel like
Green Bay would need to throw in like 2 first-round picks at least.
You would like that one.
I would hate that.
You would like that one.
I would kill myself. Dude, that'd be such crap.
How? Literally,
no,
how?
I can't. No. I need Jordan Love to be starting for the Packers. I need it. I need it.
Why? So then when he outduels Justin Fields,
you're
more depressed?
All right. We're out of time for hour 1. Hour 2, we'll pick up with Brian Flores and the NFL Combine. And then we'll go from there. So see you on the other side.
All right, let's just hop